Let's move on to the remaining battles. Before we get to the next one, please subscribe to the channel. And now, let's continue. Mongol Empire. Next, the Mongol Empire, the largest land empire in history. It existed from the 13th to the 14th century. At its peak, it stretched from East Asia all the way to Central Europe. And yeah, to build something that big, you don't exactly do it peacefully. The empire started in 1206. A Mongol leader named Temujin unified the steppe tribes and took the title Genghis Khan, meaning ruler of the world, which already tells you everything about his ambition. Under his leadership, the Mongols developed extremely effective military tactics, fast cavalry, flexible strategy, brutal efficiency. And once they got going, they didn't stop. They expanded in every direction, subduing smaller tribes, using war, intimidation, and internal division tactics. Very quickly, they became the dominant power of the steppe. Then they moved on to bigger targets. One of the most important campaigns, the invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire, 1218 to 1221 in Central Asia, and they completely destroyed it. That gave them a strong foothold in the region. From there, they launched further campaigns westward into Russia, Eastern Europe. Between 1237 and 1242, they swept through large parts of Eastern Europe. At the same time, they pushed into the Middle East, West Asia. One major event was the sack of Baghdad in 1258. Meanwhile, in East Asia, they launched multiple southern campaigns, destroyed Western Jia, 1227, defeated the Jin dynasty, 1234, subjugated Dali, 1253, finally destroyed the Song dynasty, 1279. After that, Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty in China. At that point, the Mongol Empire reached its maximum size, basically dominating a huge portion of the known world. At its peak, it had almost no real rival, but its biggest weakness was obvious. It became too big to manage. After Genghis Khan's death, internal power struggles began. Within a few decades, the empire split into multiple khanates, and those factions started fighting each other. But during its expansion, the destruction was on another level. Cities were wiped out completely, entire populations massacred. The Mongols had a strategy. If a city resisted, they would destroy everything, no exceptions. Estimated deaths? Around 60 million people. Agricultural systems that had existed for thousands of years were destroyed. Many regions couldn't recover until the Industrial Revolution. Libraries, knowledge centers, wiped out. Entire civilizations were set back. You could say every step of Mongol expansion came with fire and blood. Three Kingdoms. Next, the Three Kingdoms period. This one is already very famous. Near the end of the Eastern Han dynasty, China fell into extreme chaos. The imperial court was corrupt. Eunuchs and political factions kept fighting for power. The people suffered constantly. Famine, heavy taxes, forced labor. Local warlords started gaining power. The central government weakened, and eventually, the country split into multiple factions. Basically, whoever was strong took the land. The breaking point came in 184 AD, the Yellow Turban Rebellion. To suppress it, the Han court gave more military power to regional warlords, but that backfired. Those warlords became even stronger, and soon they started fighting each other. Then came Dong Zhuo, a warlord who marched into the capital and took control of the emperor. Other warlords formed a coalition to take him down. They succeeded, but instead of restoring order, they just started fighting each other again. From that point on, full-scale warlord chaos began. Eventually, three major powers emerged. Wei, north, led by Cao Cao, Shu, west, led by Liu Bei, Wu, south, led by Sun Quan. The most important turning point, the Battle of Red Cliffs. This battle basically locked the balance between the three powers. Later, in 220, Cao Pi replaced the Han Emperor, founded Wei. In 221, Liu Bei declared himself emperor, founded Shu. In 229, Sun Quan declared himself emperor, founded Wu. The Three Kingdoms era officially began. The wars continued for decades. In 263, Wei destroyed Shu, but real power was already in the hands of the Sima family. In 265, the Jin dynasty replaced Wei, and in 280, Jin conquered Wu. China was unified again, but the cost? Massive. War happened constantly. Raids, massacres, forced migrations. All of it happened all the time. Agriculture collapsed. Famine spread. People died not just from war, but from starvation. Population estimates. During Eastern Han, approximately 56 million. After the wars, approximately 16 million. That's about 40 million people gone, around 70% of the population. Ming-Qing Transition War. Next, the Ming-Qing transition. Around the late 16th to early 17th century, the Ming dynasty began to collapse. The system had problems from the start, and over time, it just got worse. The government was huge, but inefficient. Factional fighting inside the court. The military lacked resources. Discipline declined. Meanwhile, the people suffered badly. Natural disasters kept happening. Taxes were heavy. Some people were pushed to the point of extreme survival, even cannibalism. At the same time, the Manchus in the north, led by Nurhaci and later Hong Taiji, were rising. They would later become the Qing dynasty. In 1618, Nurhaci declared war against the Ming. At the same time, internal rebellions started breaking out across China. From the 1620s to 1640s, uprisings spread everywhere. The most notable leaders, Li Zicheng, Zhang Xianzhong. These rebellions started small, but quickly grew into major military forces. They directly threatened Beijing. The Ming was now fighting on two fronts. External invasion, Manchus, internal rebellion. Basically, it was falling apart. In 1644, Li Zicheng captured Beijing. The last Ming emperor committed suicide. The dynasty effectively collapsed, but remnants of the Ming still existed in the south, southern Ming. Meanwhile, a Ming general named Wu Songui made a critical decision. He opened the gates to the Manchus to defeat Li Zicheng. That move allowed Qing forces to enter China. Over the next decades, the Qing gradually conquered the entire country. By 1683, China was fully unified under Qing rule. Estimated deaths around 25 million people, and it took over a century for the population to recover. 7 Years' War. Finally, the 7 Years' War. At the beginning of the video, we mentioned this. Many historians consider it the first true world war. Even Winston Churchill called it that. Why? Because it was the first conflict fought across multiple continents: Europe, North America, Asia. At its core, this was basically European powers fighting over colonies. Everyone wanted to prove, I'm stronger than you. The war was a continuation of earlier conflicts. One key figure? Frederick II of Prussia, Frederick the Great. He had previously taken Silesia from Austria. That made Prussia a major power, and other nations didn't like that at all. Austria wanted revenge. Britain and France were already competing over colonies, especially in North America and Asia, so alliances shifted. Britain allied with Prussia, France allied with Austria, and others joined in. Once everything was set, war broke out. The war was fought across multiple regions. In Europe, Prussia fought against a coalition of Austria, France, Russia, and others. Despite being outnumbered, Prussia won several key battles thanks to discipline and leadership, but over time, it got exhausted. Fighting on multiple fronts was too much. Then suddenly, in 1762, Russia changed sides because the new ruler admired Frederick. That decision saved Prussia. In North America, Britain and France fought over territory. Britain eventually won thanks to better logistics, stronger navy. They gained control over Canada. In India, both sides fought directly and through local allies. Again, Britain came out on top. At sea, the British Navy dominated. They cut supply lines, captured key positions, crushed French trade. In 1763, the war ended with major treaties. Britain became the dominant global power, gained North America, influence in India, but the war was expensive. Britain went into heavy debt, so they increased taxes in their American colonies. And that eventually led to the American Revolution. Estimated deaths around 900,000 to 1.5 million people. And those were some of the largest wars in human history. If World War III ever happens, we'll be here to break it down for you. Stay safe. And if you enjoy content like this, real history explained in a way that actually makes sense, make sure to hit subscribe because there's still a lot more history out there that most people have never really understood.